Hi, and welcome to Nerd Church. This is the place where we like to provide data about Catholic dogma. And I decided to do Dan McClellan a solid and make a video in which I explain, on behalf of Nerd Church, that Lent is not in the Bible. 40 days is a number that was selected as a Lego brick because it's all over the Bible. 40 is a number that's very significant in the Hebrew Bible and in the New Testament as an appropriate number of days to fast prior to Easter, starting in the 5th century, didn't become fully codified until the 900s, and the norms are still changing and evolving, which is why if you were to speak to Catholics in America, they are observing Lent in a different way than the people that, say, Dan McClellan would have met in Uruguay were observing Quaresma. But even though it's not in the Bible, even though it's a modern evolving practice, well, as someone who is trained in the study of modern religion, I can understand why Dan, as a member of a community that understands itself to be Christian, is currently having an intense internal debate over the appropriateness of celebrating things like Holy Week, might consider it appropriate to make sure that that community is having that debate on honest terms and saying, no, Lent isn't in the Bible. Quaresma is not biblical. So, however, putting my Catholic hat on, I would respectfully ask Dan to consider that when he says Lent isn't legitimate because it isn't in the Bible, or the Trinity is not true because it isn't in the Bible, how that sounds to people who also consider themselves to be Christian, who are fully aware that these are not biblical practices, but who have also chosen to take on practices that have been adopted over time by many Christians, because for about 1 billion of us, the idea that taking a month out of the year to think about your life and think about your